And I'm just so very excited to introduce her today. Let me tell you a bit about her, that she is what people would consider a business and nonprofit expert. She was chosen as Businesswoman of the Year in the top 10 in 1999. She was a finalist for the Fresno County Mother of the Year. She also was Woman of the Year for the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society in the year 2000. She has been in banking for 38 years, and she is presently the Senior Vice President of Premiere Valley Bank, and she is one of the top fundraisers in our valley. In fact, this last year, 2013-2014, she raised over $1.2 million, and that is including also through grants that she was responsible for. Yes, I heard applause over here, and that is so great for our valley. She is a key leader with CBWC, a wife, a mother of 2 girls, a grandmother of 6. And she is just an incredible, mighty woman of God. So we're in for a treat. Marvell French.
I wanted to share with you some things this morning, and obviously we are connecting businesses in our organizations. So we want to make sure that we share some of the things that we have the privilege of doing in our businesses that maybe we can help another business or another nonprofit as they're working through that. I knew the things that I had learned about organizational skills and about team building and the people skills that were so important to do at that time. And I was going to show, this morning I thought maybe I should do a PowerPoint, but nobody wants to do a PowerPoint in the morning, so I thought I'm just going to, and it's not a teaching thing. I really just want to share from my heart what works for me. In most organizations, you can kind of assess your culture, and you have to look at it when you're going to implement a program or whatever it is you're going to do to make something work. So what we did was we decided, and on your table is our little, and I'm not trying to sell the bank today, I'm just trying to sell the philosophy of how we do the team building and what we do at our bank. So we started with our mission statement, and we basically decided that we were going to be the business and professional bank in Central California. And the reason we are that is because we do have a loan production center over at San Luis Obispo. And then we are also the community bank serving the Sierras, because we have 3 branch locations up in the Yosemite division when we bought Yosemite Bank back in 1995. And we bought them because they had the same philosophy that we had. They had the same values that we had, but they were a little bit more of the retail side of the banking. So basically, by doing that, we decided that we wanted to build customer relationships, we wanted to support the common good of the communities we serve, and then we promote employee development and ownership. That's a really important thing to do in your organization. And then we obviously, maybe enhancing shareholder value should be closer to the top, but if you do all the other things, you're going to enhance shareholder values. And then we set a set of values. I'm not going to read the values to you, but the only reason I'm talking about this little card here, which we give to any employee that we hire, has to look at this card first and has to make a decision if we're going to offer them a job, if they can buy into our values and our mission statement. If they can't do that, then we're not the right place for them to work. And my whole philosophy is once we're all in sync, flying in formation, doing the program, then everyone's empowered to do what they need to do with their people, because I know they're going to do that. And so if I live the values, and a lot of the values that are put into place here, a lot of them are my Christian values, that in the workplace you don't really talk about that, but people know. They know where I stand, they know what I do, and so it's my place to be very professional. It's my place to make sure I carry through all the things and live and be a role model as to what we've set out into the program. But the other things that I've done that are very important to me, and I think is a lot of my nonprofit work, and I try to encourage our bank employees to get back to the community, because we should be serving on boards, we should be serving on committees, we should be helping with fundraising, and not everybody has the knack for doing fundraising. I happen to love fundraising. I know out here there's a lot of people that represent nonprofit organizations. And I think if you look in your organizations and you look at your board of directors and people that you have join your team, I think the best thing people can do is add business people to their boards. And I get asked for a lot of that, but I have to be selective. I try to give back to my customers first before I give back to other organizations, but then sometimes I'll step outside and do something like that. So I do support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society because I do have leukemia myself, and I was in remission. I'm not in remission right now, taking a chemo medication, and so obviously I support them. I got them a grant from the Whitney Foundation, which they get every year. It's not a really large grant, but they get $20,000 a year for that grant. And that organization supports any nonprofit that has education in their mission statement somewhere. You know, so if you've got young people, your area is to educate. That's a place you might want to apply for a grant and see if there's something that you can get. There's just a lot of organizations that do that. I think board of directors need to be fundraisers for the organization. And so, you know, you have people that aren't as comfortable with that, but if people pull together as a team, you have to decide what are we going to raise monies for this year, and then put some pressure on some of those board members to help you accomplish some of that fundraising efforts that needs to be done. So that's really important to do. So I try to give back as much as I can to different nonprofits, and obviously I serve on the CBWC Council, which we formed our group together. We came up with our mission statement there, and it's wonderful working with the CBMC group of men as well. And we fundraise and cross over and do those kinds of things. But those are things that draw businesses in. And the goal really for us here is we want to make sure that we're networking and we're connecting businesses, and we should be sharing business cards at all of our events, because sometimes you meet a person here, whether they need a job or they need a volunteer position that they want to do, or maybe you need someone on your board or at your organization and you need some help, then I think that's the best thing to do, is we're connecting and we're doing that together.